Do you know what day it is? It's Melo Monday. Listen, it's not official yet, but Carmelo Anthony is about to sign with the Portland Trailblazers on a non-guaranteed deal. This is what we've been waiting for. The NBA just didn't seem right without Carmelo Anthony in it, without him being able to get that proper farewell tour. And I'm going to tell you on this journey why I think Carmelo is actually a really good fit with the Portland Trailblazers and just how he fits in with what they're trying to do with that superstar backcourt they got in Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum. Let's go ahead and get into this thing. Welcome back to Journey of a Ballaholic, the best talk show for basketball addicts. I'm your host, General Hannibal X. Now in this episode, we're going to be discussing Carmelo Anthony, aka Hoodie Melo. I had to go ahead and put my hoodie on to represent for Carmelo Anthony being back in the NBA. Man, it's a great day. Now, the Portland Trailblazers are playing tonight, and they're playing against the Houston Rockets, his old squad. The last time we saw Melo on the court, last year, first 10 games of the season with the Houston Rockets. And as we all know, it didn't end the way a future Hall of Famer's career should end. But Melo's been working out. He's constantly been posting videos showing us he's in shape. That jumper is still wet as it's always been. And the bully game is there and it's ready for the NBA. Now check this out. The reason I think that this is the best signing that the Portland Trailblazers could have made and should have made, because number one, let's keep it real. The Portland Trailblazers, they're spiraling right now, or they had been spiraling. Before their last win against the San Antonio Spurs, which another team is spiraling, they were 5-6. They're 5-8 now. So they're last in the Northwest Division. You're sitting there with the third worst record in the entire Western Conference at 5-8. When you got Dame Lillard, a bona fide superstar, CJ McCollum, a legit number 2 option, how are you 5-8? How are you the third worst team in the Western Conference? Now, granted, it's early in the season, only 13 games in, but this is not the start that the Portland Trailblazers were looking for. And I think one of the bigger issues for them is all the injuries that they've had to compound with the bad play. As we know, Nurkic, he's still out with the leg fracture. He's out indefinitely. They brought in Pau Gasol. He's out indefinitely with his foot issue. And then they had Zach Collins that they brought in to play that power forward spot. And he's dealing with a shoulder injury where he's going to be out for 4 months. So what you're seeing is that they're in need of big men, but not just any kind of big men. And this is where Melo truly fits in with this Portland Trailblazers team. Zach Collins gave them that ability to have a stretch 4, right? And with him gone, they tried to put Anthony Tolliver in there for a couple of games and start him to see how he would fit. He's stinking it up. I mean, he's shooting like 24% from the 3, 24% overall from the field. He's just not getting it done. So they've tried some other lineups, Hazonia, Nasir Little. They're searching. And while they're searching, they're losing. Once again, they got the Houston Rockets tonight, so they're probably going to lose again and be 5-9 in the West. So Melo, like I said, he hasn't signed officially with them, and we were all hoping that he was going to make his debut tonight against the Rockets. But they're sitting him out and maybe just waiting to sign him a little bit longer because he may not be fully into NBA shape. Like, we've seen him in, pick him up in the gym type shape, but this is the NBA, so he's got to probably get into a little bit better NBA shape. So they're going to wait on that because, as we know, the Portland Trailblazers have the highest payroll in the NBA. That's the issue. So getting Melo on a non-guaranteed deal, smart. That's very, very smart. It's a win-win for the Trailblazers. This is exactly what the Lakers did with Dwight Howard, and we've seen how he's playing. I think Melo's going to fit in with this team perfectly. Once again, they need a power forward, that stretch forward, right? Someone who can either start and or come off the bench. Now, where does he fit in with this team? I think whether it's starting and or coming off the bench, he fits perfectly. Melo is that guy, 6'8", 6'9", just like a Brahma bull. Kobe called him one of the toughest guys he's ever had to guard because of that sheer mass and that girth and just the strength that Melo plays with when he's bullying people in the box. Whereas we know Melo's not the Denver Melo or even the New York Knicks Melo. That's not who Melo is anymore. But what Melo can still do is he can go on hot streaks. We saw that even last year with the Houston Rockets. In just those 10 games that he played with Houston, it was an up and down 10 games. We saw him have 4 games of 17 plus points, 3 games with 22 plus points. Now, those 17 games, those 4 games where he has 17 or more points, 3 of those 4 games he came off the bench. So I think that's where they should start Melo is, coming off the bench, being that 6th man so that when Dame goes out or CJ goes out, whether it's for foul trouble or just their normal rotational rest, you could bring a guy like Melo in, whether you're bringing him at the small forward spot, whether you're bringing him in at the power forward spot, however you want to do it. You bring him in and now he can be a legitimate option, whether he's playing on that box or whether he's able to space the floor. Melo can still shoot. Melo is not a traditional catch and shoot person, but he can shoot. I mean, it's just last year, once again, a couple of those games that he had through just 10 games, it was a very small sample size. He had 2 games, one game where he hit 6 for 9 from 3, and another game 6 for 10 from 3. When you have a guy that can come off your bench and give you that kind of production, that can win you a playoff game. Melo's not going to win a series like he used to do once again back in Denver. That's not the Melo they're getting, and they know that. Melo can win you a game in the playoff. He has that playoff experience. He's humbled through this entire process and understands I've got to take what I can get out there and be seen, and show on the court that I belong in this league. Melo went on the Stephen A. Smith show and basically begged for a job. It was a low moment from the Carmelo that I'm used to, right? But he did what he had to do. He's humbled himself to say, listen, I just want to play ball. And you got to respect that. Now, when it comes to the chemistry fit with Dame and with CJ, I think because both of these guys are small guards that can create shots for themselves and for others, I think Melo being that guy who can be that intermediate scorer, right, around that 15 to 17 foot range, also can step out to the 3. I think that would be a good spot he can occupy when on the court with them. But as we said, like I said, when they're off the court or one of them's off the court, you can just give him the ball and just kind of step out the way and let him go. Melo has that ability still, and I think he's going to show the NBA now when it's non-guaranteed deal. You still got to deal with Melo. Now, offensively is what he brings. Defense, we know he's a liability. Melo's never been an elite defender, and at this stage of his career, they're not bringing him in for that. The Portland Trailblazers last year were the top 3 offensive team in the league. They were ranked number 3. This year, they're down to number 11. So their offense is a big drop-off from what it was. You still got Dame giving you 30 points a game. You got CJ giving you 21 a game. They brought in Hassan Whiteside, who's giving them 15 and 12. And then they had Rodney Hood averaging 12 points a game. That's solid, but it's not good enough, especially in the West. Especially every night you're going up against another dog. You're going up against another great duo. Like I said, last game was against the Spurs. You had DeRozan and Aldridge. They pulled that win out. Tonight you got Westbrook and Harden. So it's always going to be a great duo you're going against. But being able to have that legit third option, like I say, that there's going to be some nights where Melo has 2 points. There's going to be some nights Melo may not even score. But there'll be some nights where Melo gives you 20 off the bench. Or maybe they put him in the starting lineup eventually, once he gets his NBA legs under him. Maybe he gets on a hot streak coming off the bench for a while. Maybe they throw him in there. Because like I said, as of right now, they're searching for that starting power forward. You've got Dame, CJ, Rodney Hood, and Whiteside. Those 4 are your locks for starters. Who's that 5th starter? It was Zach Collins. He's out for a while. But going back to Dame, this was a really interesting signing when you think about how we got here. Let's go back and remember some of the words that Dame Lillard said when he was trying to recruit Melo. Dame wanted Melo. Dame wanted Carmelo Anthony years ago. Take a listen to this.
Have you reached out to Carmelo?
I spoke to him because obviously he makes us a better team. He makes us a better team. So, I mean, obvious't with that being out there and that being a real possibility, I don't see why I wouldn't reach out to him and let him know that the interest is mutual if he's interested in us.
Now, here was a post-game interview that he did where he was asked about Carmelo Anthony. Listen to what Dame Lillard said when asked about Carmelo Anthony.
Obviously, we believe in what we have, but the more firepower we can add, we'll have a better chance to compete for longer periods of time and at a higher level. So, obviously, I was all about that. I spoke to him. I was in contact with him. I was all over it, trying to do what I could. But the important part is that any other star understands that the stars that are on that team would welcome them to the team and is also on board with what the organization is trying to do. So, I thought it went well, but he just landed somewhere else.
Now, what's so interesting is that after those two on-camera interviews with Damian Lillard, basically telling the franchise, I want him, I want him, let's go get him, and telling the world I want him. Recently on the Joe Budden podcast, Dame Lillard was asked about Melo, and listen to what Dame had to say then.
2 years ago, I tried to get Melo to come to Portland, and he went to Oklahoma City. Then after that, I tried to get him to come to Portland again, and he went to Houston. So at this point,
you're not putting your hand out again.
The team or me, I'm like, he ain't coming here.
Right.
You know what I'm
He's
saying?
just not
so he deserved to be in the league, but he ain't coming here.
Try now. He might be more. He might be a little more.
This might be the year.
Yeah, this might be the year where he says, yo, you know what, I'm on the way.
I don't know, Dame. You got some explaining to do after that one, my brother. You got some explaining to do. But I get it. Hard times call for hard measures. And the Portland Trailblazers have found themselves in desperate times. So, hey, with the payroll being what it is, the injuries being what it is, the standings being what they are, they had to roll the dice on Melo. And I think it's a great move. It's a great move. It's a move that probably should have happened 2 years ago when Dame was trying to get Melo, and Melo was bouncing all over the place trying to chase superstars with Russell Westbrook and Paul George, then going over to CP3 and Harden. This your third stop, Melo. This your last stop. Make this one count, bro. We want you. If this is going to be your last year, finish it out. We want to see you go from every different franchise into every single building. We want to see you play hard. We want to see you bully people down low. We want to see the Carmelo, not of old, but we want to see the last that you have, the best that you have. Sort of like how Dwayne Wade went out. Give us something that we can cheer on, we can gravitate toward. Give us something, Melo. Listen, if you think that Carmelo Anthony can give the Portland Trailblazers something positive, let me know in the comment section below. Or if you don't, if you think it's a total wasted signing, let me know what you think. What's your thoughts on the Carmelo Anthony signing? As always, I appreciate you for taking a look at this video. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and tap that notification bell so that you can stay updated with the journey of a Ballaholic.